Excellent. Hey guys, what's happening out there in internet land? First things first, you guys gotta check in. Let us know where you're watching from out there in the night. I have got the most amazing little painting planned out for you today. For you people that are watching in the future, you've probably already seen the thumbnail, but for all of us that are watching the live show, we have no idea what's about to fall out of the brush, and it's literally gonna blow your mind. I just did a practice version of it in acrylic, the very first Paint with Josh acrylic painting that has ever been listed available for you to get in my store. So if you wanted to go check out what this painting is going to look like, you can find out what it's going to, well, kind of similarly look like, as we're going to do this one in oils, and I did the other ones in acrylic. So it's on my site if you want to go check it out. Probably find it on the Paint with Josh app. And everybody check in out there. Let me know where you're from. We got Pittsburgh, Arkansas. What about Texarkana? Anybody out there from Texarkana? What's it say? What's it say? The app. See, the app going live notification is the best idea, right? If you're ever watching on your whatever platform you're watching on, and it doesn't tell you that Paint with Josh is live, and you forgot for whatever reason, that's why you want to get the Paint with Josh app, because it's going to notify you right when the show starts. So it's like, hey, here we go. We're going live. Come watch, or, you know, watch later. But at least it'll tell you, because we physically send it out. We don't rely on any software to do it. London literally pushes the button and pushes it out to all you guys and then starts the show. So I was deciding earlier, maybe we do a blue sky or maybe we do a sunset sky. So maybe you guys can tell me in the comments right now. Look, someone said love the app. See that? People love the Paint with Josh app. So let me know, should we do a blue sky or should we do a sunset? You guys let me know. Seriously, it's up to you. You tell me. We don't even really need a whole lot of paint for the sky, but let's see the first few comments that come through. I'm going to bet you guys are going to say sunset, in which case I need to get out some more Indian yellow. But just in case, let's get it out anyway. We'll probably use it on another painting somewhere else. So what do you guys think? Sunset for this one, or should we do blue sky? What do you think? Type it out. We can do either. I actually didn't put any color in the sky on the other one. It's just a white canvas. It's very cool looking. So I'm assuming, let's see, we got blue sky, sunset, sunset, sunset. Blue sky, sunset, sunset. There's lots more sunsets than the blue sky. So with our 16 by 20 inch canvas that we have right here, 16 horizontally, 20 inch tall, we've taken our Bob Ross liquid white. You can also use your Grumbacher's liquid white, right? Same thing, just a different brand. If you need to make your own liquid white, you take the very thick titanium white, and then you take your paint thinner or your odorless mineral spirits in a 50-50 mix, mix them up together. So it should be very runny, okay? Now we're gonna take our Indian yellow, and what are you doing, John? Why would you go way down here for the sky? Oh, I don't know. I figure I'd do a painting for you guys that we've never done before. Never seen this perspective. Never seen anyone do this one before, really. So we're gonna start our sky all the way down at the bottom because we're literally looking up in this painting, right? So it's not gonna be like one of those cliche, like forest paintings where you have trees coming from everywhere and then you got your center area. Ugh, so played out. I've seen that a million times. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be amazing. So we're gonna take our Indian yellow, then maybe some of our madder carmine or our alizarin crimson, same color, literally. All right, we're gonna plop that guy in there. And remember, the sky makes no difference in this painting. We just need color out there. We don't even need to have clouds or anything. We just need some color in the background. So we'll go into our dioxazine purple right onto the same brush. Pop that guy over here. Maybe we'll get a little of our ultramarine blue as well. Pop that guy up there. Mix them together. And before we go and blend it, we need a clean, dry brush. Okay, so we're going to dump on all this thick color across our wet surface, right? That's the advantage that I found between the oils and the acrylics, right? Sure, acrylics dry a little bit faster, but boy, oh boy, it takes a lot of paint to drag over that dry canvas when you're using those acrylics, unless you're wetting yours down. I didn't do that. I don't have that bank of knowledge yet. So we're going to take our brush. We can't brush and, blend out our sky with a dirty brush. So we're going to go wash this guy off. Then we're going to blend it out. And man, you've never seen a painting like this. So I hope you guys hang out just for a minute, just to see what we're going to do. Boy, oh boy. That'd be cool. I'm literally looking at it right here. You guys want to see? I might even show you. No, I'll just make you wait until the end. mean, you can always go over and check out the painting that's over there. It's right underneath the featured painting, which is this one here. Now we'll take our our dry, clean dry brush down into our wet paint, and we're going to start to crisscross it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until we blend these colors together. Now remember, it doesn't really matter. You don't even need to really blend them too much because we're going to take up so much of this canvas with some tree trunks, right? We're literally going to be painting close-up tree trunks, looking upwards at the sky. It's going to be really cool. So all we need is a bit of color out here, literally. You don't need too much, just blend it down. We don't even have to do any clouds or anything, honestly. We have to do nothing. Do less, right? Put a little bit of color up there, blend it out. Boom, seriously. Don't even care, honestly. See that little spot up there? I don't even care. I would normally, in a different scene, we would blend that out. But for this scene, we don't even care. Now, let's grab our palette tool. We're going to grab some of our Paint with Josh plaque mix. Do you know the 3 colors that it takes in order to make up this plaque mix, right? And then what color we need to add in order to make brack, right? Actually, we'll make a mixture of grack and brack. It's a brack plaque. Whatever it is, it's going to be a dark, nasty color, right? So we'll take a bit of our Van Dyke brown, bit of our sap green, bit of our blue, crimson, and black in order to make this really nasty old shape back here. It's all we need. Now we're going to take our big old bushy brush, or the round brush. Again, we don't need this paint to be overly thick or overly dark. So why don't we take a little touch of white and some of that pile just to brighten it up just a little bit. There, that's not too bad right there. That's not too bad. Now remember, we don't need too many details. Okay, so we're going to plunge our brush into that whole little pile of that lighter color. And let's just go crazy, boy. Pop it out here and start filling it in. Oh, it's nasty. All right, we want to overdo it. We want it to become lighter as it gets down there. We don't need to have so many little bits of stuff. And remember, it's more than one thing out there, okay? It's a bunch of trees and bushes and different bits. All we're gonna do is pop up some stuff over here. Maybe there's some stuff over here. Literally, you're gonna cover over the majority of this thing, okay? So you don't even need to really worry about it. Take it down a little bit more, let it get lighter and lighter and lighter as it gets down to the bottom, right? And we can pop in some crazy stuff. Now remember, we've tapped over this thing immensely, intensely, and crazily so that there's not a lot of texture back there. There's a little bit of color, but there's not a lot of texture. So what if we grab our liner brush, get into our odorless mineral spirits, okay? Let's go into the darker color that we had created, okay? Get down in there. You can let it mix in with that same color as well. And what if we came up here like this and just popped in a couple little weird, I don't know, little tree trunks, little things, little branches that are growing up over here. They don't even have to connect, right? Because you're never going to see every piece. You want them to pop out the edge, let one fly out over there, right? We need it to be distant into the background. We don't have to have too many little bits. Now let's just say you're like, oh no, watch this. Like, just I'm doing this on purpose, right? Like, oh, my tree trunk went all the way down. I can see too much of it, blah, 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 blah. Come in and tap at it in areas where you don't want it to be, right? We can't see the whole thing. You can see some areas of some things, but you don't want to see everything, okay? Now we're going to go back to that really deep, dark color. We need it very thick. We need it very dark. So why don't we add a little bit more of our plaque mix just to mix it up and get it just very nasty. We need a lot of paint too. Woo! Let me tell you guys, okay? One thing I might want to add too, maybe. Let's just see what it looks like. You don't try this yet, okay? Let me try before you try it. Let's get a little bit of our yellow ochre. And what if... Ooh, I like it. Right? Just a couple little bits, like literally, little pops, little thing of like yellow ochre kind of highlighting that darker color, right? Remember, you can't put it everywhere. Doesn't need to be everywhere. It's just pure yellow ochre out here. And everything to the left and the middle and the sides is gonna be covered, okay? I'm telling you, so don't put too many little bits out here. Don't worry about that guy too much. Oh, I like it, okay? Guys, I'm telling you, don't unfollow me when we do this next thing, okay? Once we have our little foreground bit, we're gonna take our fan brush, we're gonna run it down through all this paint. You could use a filbert brush too, right? But we're gonna run it down through this paint. And we're basically going to just launch in, and I'm talking about just a big tree trunk coming down at this angle like this, right? We're going to make it about twice as fat as that. Plop it out and just make it dark, right? It's got to be skinnier at the top, a little bit thicker at the base. Going to fall right off the edge over here. Bang. Oh, you guys. Now that we can see kind of off of here, and again, we're going to make an even bigger one, kind of coming down. So it's thin there, and then it's going to get bigger and kind of cut in front of our other little tree right here. And I told you, you're going to need a lot of paint, and it's got to come down this way and be about 2 inches from the corner of our canvas. Okay, so we really got to fill these things up. Oh, look at it. You got to use a lot of paint, and it's got to be dark in order for it to stand out as being close, right? Now we're literally looking up at all these trees, you guys. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Now we can take our liner brush. Since we're doing our oils, we can get our liner brush into all that dark paint. We don't want to have too much of our odorless mineral spirits on there. Otherwise, it's going to create too wet of a pile. And we don't need that wet of a pile. We'll put a couple little branches off over here. We're going to cover up the majority of this stuff. It literally disappears. So you don't have to have too many little things or too many little branches that are holding up all these things, because they can even come from above, like they're not even connected to the tree, right? Because they're above us. And we can come in with our darker paint, hold our brush out here like this, and I'm telling you, just pop out a couple little weird little bits, little things. All we're looking for is to cover the dark. This is the canopy, right? We're looking up at the canopy of this tree. And so we're just looking to cover that area at the top, right? Covering over our tree and everything, popping out over here, wherever, right? And you can leave a little bit of gap in between, or a little bit of sky kind of in between there, right? But it's basically mostly just covered up, all these little bits, okay? Now remember, you don't see a whole lot of those things. And then we're going to come back through with our trunk and make sure that the trunk is in front of all those little bits of bushes. Same thing on this guy. And so we're just dragging through that paint, bang, just like that. Oh, when we get up there to start our like highlights and stuff, you guys are just going to be blown away. Look at this tree. Let's get a little bigger on the side. There. We can literally make them as big as we want. All you need, a little bit of space in between, a little bit of space on the sides. Guys, I'm telling you, let's get back over on this side, okay? They don't need to be so like intensely bent, but it does need to get fat at the bottom. I'm telling you, right? Look at that. Dudes. Okay, let's get over here. Let's do this other guy right here. But again, it can't be perfectly straight, right? So we're going to pull him kind of down at an angle. Boom, down like that. Okay, so he's going to get thinner as he goes up to the top. Then he's going to get wider and end up taking up more space on this edge. Right? You guys like this painting? What do you think? Ooh, that's really cool. I like it. Yeah, we don't have very good numbers over on TikTok, but I'm liking the painting anyway. What do the YouTube numbers look like? Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. Literally so cool. Now we need another tree as well. I want this guy to be bigger though, right? Need him to be big, taking up lots of space. There. Yeah. Guys, I'm telling you, this is why we didn't do anything in the background. We did nothing, right? Let's come on to this guy. Bring him down a little bit closer. Fill up that whole top corner. This is why we didn't need too much sky. We didn't have to worry about the sky. We didn't have to do anything, you guys. And then we're going to launch in so much trunk and thickness to this little dude. Now, we're out of paint. So let's get over here, make up a little bit more. And you guys want to run a commercial while I mix up some paint? Yeah? So why don't you guys hang out for about 30 seconds, check out this quick Paint with Josh in-stream commercial, and we'll be back right after these words. Hey guys, it's Paint with Josh back in the studio with you today, taking a break from editing to talk about our Glitterwix candles. Absolutely fantastic, super unique jars, more than 65 different scents that you can find if you head over to their site. Check it out, get your favorite, let us know which one you got when you come back, and let's pop over to the show and see what we've been missing while we've been gone. So, as you can see, these things need to be deep and dark, okay? If they're not deep nor dark. They will not stand out as much as I want. So I'm going to take a little bit more of my plaque mix, right, that deep dark color, making up an enormous pile of it. And we're going to run that brush through that dark paint. And you can even see, right, when I pull down vertically, it makes, even though I'm adding darker paint, it makes it kind of bright looking, right, because of the angle of the paint and our lights, right? So I have to kind of drag it to the side in order for you guys to see its full darkness, right? So even though it may look like it's bright because of all of our lights, right, just remember there's lots of dark paint up here. So it is very dark, right? Now, watch this. Even though we can kind of take the shine away from the drag of the paint, you can see how darker these trees are in the front. That's what we need. We need them to be dark along the back side especially. So let's put some extra darkness down here. Bingo, bango. We're going to imagine all of our lights coming back from this side, from the right. But just like so, guys, launch it in. Make sure they're dark, and then we're going to really load up on our texture and throw in our crazy old trunky tree bark, which you guys should know me for by now. My goodness. There. Remember, we want them dark. Cover up the edges. Cover up the edges on this guy. There we go. You see the difference in the two? When you don't have enough paint on your brush, it just will not be as dark because it's continually mixing with that liquid white, right? When the liquid white hits it, then boom, everything starts to become brighter, right? There we go. A little bit of space in between. That's all you need. Oh, that's so cool. We need to mix up some more paint too. Goodness, I didn't even get out enough. Didn't realize how much this painting was going to take. So let's get our crimson, black, and blue. We haven't even used white on this painting. Can we get away with not using white on a white canvas, Josh? Can we? I don't know if we can or not. We're going to figure it out by the time we get there. We have not even touched the white once in a while. So, get our blue, black, crimson. You guys check in. Let us know where you're watching from out there in the night. For goodness sake. Excellent. Now I've got to mix up more of this darkness. So let's see if we can catch some check-ins. Am I the only one that can't find it on the app? So when you go to the Paint with Josh app, right, hit the little 3-line menu at the top, and then it should say grab this painting, or, you know, BUY this painting, and it'll take you right to that link for this one, right? So versus it being right at the top of the app, it's right at the top of the home page. But when you're on the app, you use that little 3-line menu, and then it'll literally say, grab this painting, and that's the one you want to get if you want to grab this one. So this one is looking amazing. Now, if you go on the website, you'll see a very similar painting that is in acrylic that I did earlier today in sort of preparation for this painting. Man, that one's coming out so gorgeous, you guys. I love this little sneak of light in between. That's my favesies. So, oof, and we need one more, dudes. That's what I'm saying. We got one more. It can be a little thinner. It can come down. Boom, it's got to be thicker than that, but a little thinner than the rest as it's off in the night. Right? Whatever you think. Remember to let it get fatter down around the base. And you can have as many or as few as you want to do. I ended up putting in 5 of them, I think, in the practice painting. But we may do more if you need to. You know what I mean? Totally up to us. Remember, let that sucker get fatter as it gets down to the bottom. That's why we didn't do anything down here, right? Because we're looking up. And then we can put another little section of bush there. You could do another tree. You could do whatever, man. You could have this guy in the background. Bang, right? Because we only really want to see a little bit of that background tree. That's why we didn't do too much to it, right? Bang. There, guys. Is that not the coolest? So if you want to grab this one, head over, check it out. You can get it, and we're about to just overload it full of just texturous paint. So if you like this one, you know where to go to get it. It's on the app. It's on the website. You guys can find it. Plus the mods are telling you how to get there. Let's throw a couple little tree branches off. All right, just kind of crisscrossing through, little here, little there, little bit, little boom. We don't want to have too many. That's the thing. If we have too many little branches on these things, then it's going to sort of take away what our kind of idea we're going for. You know what I mean? You don't want to have too many. A couple little bits here, there, wherever, right? A coming off our little tree, back and forth. There, that's fantastic. Right? Where do you want to have a little guy coming from? Coming out of the end? Is he coming out of the front? We got one coming off of this side, or over here, in between, here, there, and wherever, right? You get to choose. So, you guys as well start coming up with a title for this painting. I'm going to wash off these brushes real quick. You guys are going to start titling this one, because then we're going to spend the next probably 15 to 20 minutes just putting on heavy texture onto this guy. So start coming up with a title now. I'll finish washing off these little brushes. We only got one more to do. And you guys start typing it into the comments. What should we call this one? Right? This one, fairly simple. Right? You don't have to do too much. And it's a good bravery test, right? Just launching in all those crazy big tree trunks. Now, I'm probably going to need some more of my Van Dyke Brown. And I think I've got enough of my yellow ochre, but we do need that Van Dyke Brown and our black, because we're going to be using our palette tool to attach it to the canvas, right? So, you guys check in. Why aren't the numbers so low today? I don't understand. This is a really cool painting, too. I don't get it. Yeah. Well, either way, what do the numbers look like on YouTube? Okay, cool. So we'll take our Van Dyke Brown, a little bit of our white, mix it down over here. We're going to get our yellow ochre as well. So we'll grab that guy, pull it into this mix, and just mix it up. Right? We want to have all these different colors in there. So every so often, we'll just take a little bit of that pile, mix up a little bit more brown into it, here, there, wherever, right? Just so we have some differences. Now what we need to do is scoop up a little roll of that paint, come on to the, brighter side, and just start tapping at it and making a little ridge, right? This is going to take a while. The more little times you tap, the more wood grain is going to come onto your thing. Now, you don't want to connect them all, right? You can't have every space touching every space. But the more that you pipe in these little bits of paint, they make like a little ridge, literally sticking off the canvas. And then you can come and touch that little ridge and kind of extend it over, just by tapping it over this way, tapping it over the other side, kind of crisscrossing as you're going down. Look at that tree trunk start to emerge, right? Catching it down here. Again, just taking the paint and tapping it. This oil paint is very thick. It's very heavy, right? And so you create all this texture by tapping it down, right? Now, the more that you go down, right, you got to have a light side and a dark side. And so we're kind of tapping on, letting it get darker and darker as it gets down to this darker side, catching all that bright light. And if you really want to catch a bright space, if you get your yellow ochre, just pure yellow ochre, right, and you tap that guy into an area, right, or at least your yellow paint over your darker color and your darker brown, right, you can catch a bit of sunlight catching on that little guy. All sorts of things, guys, but it takes a lot of paint. Right, so you go back to your little pile, come back over here, tap on more. If you drop off a big old chunk, you can go back and tap onto that guy and then tap away from it. Tap at it, tap away, tap at it, tap away, and create all these little different things by using that paint where we dumped it on too much. Right, that first contact point where you're dropping it on is probably going to be the heaviest. And so you need to kind of go back and pick that up and then go back and use it in different places. Look at how this color, guys, is making these trees just so 3D. So, over here and over there, tap it around. Dude, look at that with the light and the dark. Does that not look supremely realistic? I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn or nothing, but doesn't that look insane? Oh, it's so stinking pretty. Just can't with my own self, right? Tap at it again. We want less taps, less ridges, less brightness on the dark side. You don't have to have nothing, right? You have to have something there, but it doesn't have to be as bright or as thick or reach as far around or whatever, right? You do have to have some form. It's just going to be a darker color by the time you've tapped it in and all the way around the back. You should be catching some light and having some darkness, right? And then if anything, like I was saying, you go back with your yellow ochre and you tap in that bright yellow ochre into little areas. Again, not trying to hit every space. Now you get a bright side of your tree into the dark side, right? Do you want it to be, you know, kind of even all the way down, or does your tree hidden by something else, right? All these things you guys get to choose. You get to do, you get to decide every time you do a painting, right? That's the fun part about it. Now, if we came off this little friend, tapping, tapping, or vice versa, you could go this way. Right? Some people like to be able to see the edge of their tree with their blade, so they hold it upside down like that. I've done it so many times that I can do it this way and not worry about tapping on the, you know, outside of my tree line over here. And trust me, I've done it before. And it takes practice to be able to know where the paint is going to come off when you tap at this little guy. What do you guys think of these trees? How do they look like they're popping off the canvas? Yeah, sweet. All I see is a bunch of glare from over here. So I have to look at the camera and be like, okay, all right, I'm seeing it. We may need to use a little bit of white just to brighten up that yellow ochre a bit more. I was trying to get away with not using any white, but we've already used it to kind of mix our brown up. So we'll continue. We'll say we used white in this painting, I guess. There. Right, again, making that just a lighter version of that dark brown paint. Okay, and I'm going to come on to this little guy and we'll tap at him. I know that first spot, I'm going to go back, touch, look at how much more paint I can get to come off it. I can go back and touch it again and get more paint to come off of it, right? You don't have to just keep it in the same spot all the time or you know, be stuck with that big chunk of paint right there. Go back and grab it and then get going. You know what I mean? Totally up to you guys, literally. You're in control. Bingo, bango. So, I never mix up a big enough pile of paint. Are you guys like that? Are you like me? I never mix up enough. And so then I've got to go back and grab more and then start to mix that guy up into a bigger pile and a bigger pile because we never make up enough. I don't know why. I can never figure it out. A little bit of my brighter yellow ochre color really stands out versus that darker brown. You know what I mean? You can catch some light back there. And it's just pure yellow ochre over that brown that we've already had. Right? We mixed a little bit of the little teeny tiny white into this one just to catch a little bit more brightness. Right? We're just tapping, 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 tapping all the way up. Even if you think you don't have paint on the blade anymore, just keep tapping. Right? Just go all the way up or all the way down or whatever it is. Keep tapping and tapping and tapping at it. Oh, that looks so stinking cool, you guys. That's fantastic, dude. Have you ever seen a tutorial from this perspective? Right? Be honest, I want to know. I'm literally asking. Have you ever seen anyone paint a tutorial from this perspective? I don't think so. I haven't seen it. When I saw this reference, I was like, ooh, that is a cool perspective that not a lot of people paint. So Josh is going to do it. Tap around that yellow. Even on this little 16 by 20, I'm going to finish the edges for you. Goodness gracious. Yvonne, that looks wicked. Dude, right? Guys. Again, we need to mix up. Sorry. You want it? Guys, Yvonne's going to sneak it away from you guys if nobody grabs this one. Jeez. This one came out wicked cool. I'm getting tattooed by Yvonne tomorrow. I am so scared, you guys. Oh, it's time for a commercial. It's time for a commercial, and then I'll tell you about my tattoo that I'm wickedly scared of. So you guys hang out for like 30 seconds. We'll be right back after these words. Hey guys, it's me, Josh, back in the studio with you today, taking a break from editing to talk about our Glitterwix candles. Absolutely fantastic, super unique jars, more than 65 different scents that you can find if you head over to their site. Check it out, get your favorite, let us know which one you got when you come back, and let's pop over to the show and see what we've been missing while we've been gone. Oh, just had time enough to finish my Mountain Dew. A little bit of it anyway. So we're going to take that brown paint again. Okay, let's get down here. Scrape it up. Let's come plopping it back onto our little friend. Remember, each one of these trees in the front is so close that we can see the bark, which is what all this texturous paint is, right? Now we have to have a dark side of the tree and we have to have a bright side of the tree. So we're taking this darker paint kind of going from the middle and towards the back. And then we'll have our lighter paint kind of catching in the front, right? So same little ridges. They kind of flare out down here at the bottom, kind of like those jeans you guys used to wear. You know what I mean? I think Bailey even has some, what do they call them? The little flare out jeans at the bottom. What do they call those? Bell bottoms. Yeah, the bell bottoms, man. I remember right down the middle with the dark color. And then on to the back. Just kind of tapping at it and creating this texture. When this paint is dry, right, you will be able to feel it like literal wood bark on a tree because it is sticking off of the canvas. There's so much paint, I'm going to have to charge double just for how much paint, how heavy the canvas is going to be. This extra ounces for when we go to ship it. Dudes, it's looking so wicked cool. Literally going to take that big guy, put him right down through our other little friend, kind of pushing the other one backwards. Oh, yeah, I'm going to need more paint. I was like, you know what? I'll get an enormous amount of brown on the brush, and then that will ensure, or excuse me, on the palette, and that will ensure that I have enough. And I still ran out. Well, I don't know how it's possible, but we still ran out. So we're going to go back, get some more Van Dyke brown. A little bit of our white, little touch of yellow ochre. Let's get it mixed up over here, scraped up into a big old pile of paint. And then we'll throw it on to our trunk again. I think I was a little bit too bright. So we'll mix them down. And you're judging it, you know what I mean? At what the level of bright paint is to you. Do you want it to be brighter? Add more white. You know what I mean? Totally up to you. Or more yellow ochre. Or whatever. Look at the chunky texture. Shit. As I'm telling you, if you guys don't get this one, if you do, you're getting your money's worth for sure, because there is so much paint on this thing. Literally. I'm gonna come down. Ooh, that's a lot of chunk up there. There we go. Right? You just go back, pick it up, drop it in different places, remembering that we've got to have space for our brighter side as well, so we can't give everything the same amount of dark texture. Okay. Once we've got our brown all launched in, right up along our edges of our tree, leaving a little line of darkness around if you can. It just helps them make it look a little bit, helps them look a little bit more realistic if you have that rounded edge. And we'll come back in here with our yellow ochre, tap onto it, right? If we need to, we can even actually add a little bit of our liquid white to our yellow ochre, and it will come off of your blade a little bit easier, right? I want it to be chunky. I want it to look different. I don't want it to be too evenly smushed on there. You know what I mean? We want it to be catching, be different. Come over here, tap on there, right? We're going back and forth, trying to tap, 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 allowing some areas to be split. You know what I mean? That looks cool. It's like that spot's sticking out a little bit more and catching that light. It doesn't have to be this perfect straight line. Everybody knows that. Tap down over here. Yes, question? Okay, so you're going to want to add a little bit of the liquid white to the canvas, to your paint, right? Very small amount. Because if one thing Bob told us, right, was a thick paint is, a thin paint is going to stick to a thick paint. And so if your base, right, when you were kind of brushing your trees on, if that's very heavy, it's going to be harder to get this heavier paint to stick on, right? So you want to brush that out so it's not too goopy. And then, look at this guy, he's trying to sneak his way there. Fill in that whole space. There we go. Right? That way it should be easier to drop on these highlights, right? Sticking on thick paint to very thick paint, it takes practice, right? You need to know where to lay the heavy paint, where to then come back with this heavy highlight and not have them over mix with each other too much, right? It takes practice for sure. So don't get discouraged about it, but add maybe a little touch of your liquid white to your pile of paint, so then when you come up with your little roll, it should drop off easier. That's the main advantage to that liquid white stuff. It helps the paint come off of the brush or the blade easier and attach to this other thicker paint, because that's one thing Bob always told us, that everybody remembers. right? A thicker paint, excuse me, a thinner paint is going to attach itself easier to a thicker paint. So get it crazy, get over here, tap in these little things until you feel like it looks like tree bark, right? Everyone's idea of finished is going to be a little different. Some people are going to be like, oh, I think it should be brighter, or this should have been that, or that should have been this, or whatever, right? It's up to me how it looks, because I'm painting the painting, right? You can even drag down vertical little lines like that, kind of fill them in. But you want to have gouges, right? Darkness in between them. In between them, right? We're going to come over this little branch. On some of these thicker little branches, we can give them a little bit of texture. Not that guy in the back. Maybe that guy. Definitely not the very skinny ones. They don't need texture, right? Oh, that's fantastic, you guys. I am very, very happy with that guy. We can put on just a little bit of a whoop, cover through, pop on little things, right? Excellent. Excellent. And then cut down a couple little gouges through that guy. Perfection, you guys. Oh, I'm loving it. I am loving this painting so much. There, see, you got to make it weird. You can't have it just be a little smiley face back there. You got to make it weird, man. Now we'll come in here, tap on, over there, boom, boom. Ooh, that's a big old chunk. That's a big old bit of dry skin right there. We don't need that much texture on it, you guys. There, you decide when you're finished how dark it needs to be, how much texture you're going to have on there. You can even go back in with your plaque texture just to make it texturized, right? Past your eyes when you drop into the deep end of the pool. It's pasteurized. Oh, man. Josh is a silly old guy, don't you think? So, that looks so cool that I need to now add a little bit more of my plaque texture into the back of some of these trees so we can get the back very dark, right? And have it remain that same chunkiness. So, I'm going to tap it on, tap it on. I'm telling you, if you guys don't grab this painting, this thing is going to be heavy. See that difference? That bit of dark. Trapping it in, getting that bigger textury paint. It's fantastic, you guys. So yeah, I was going to tell you guys about my tattoo tomorrow. If I show up sore on Thursday, you guys can blame Vonnie back here because she's going to torture me for how many hours? As long as I can take, 10? I was thinking like 8, and that was a lot. I think she's joking, you guys. I think she's kidding. I don't think the human body can get tattooed for 10 hours. Not my human body. I'm a little baby, you guys, when it comes to tattoos. Like, I need that numbing cream, Yvonne, like as soon as possible. Okay? Guys, and if you haven't had a tattoo in like years, they have this numbing gel stuff now that they just put on, right? Like, first they have to get into you, and you're like, right? And then after however long, you can get this little, and oh my goodness, if you've never had it, oh, it makes it so fantastically numb that you can't even feel until, right? So let's say it's like on this patch of my skin, just this area. Everything, it's like, no, you can't feel it, right? Can't feel anything, can't feel anything until you get to like the edge of where the numbing cream isn't. And then it's like a very sharp awakening. You're like, oh, I forgot. Yes, okay, we're getting tattooed. And that hurts. All right, stay within that numbing area, please. But yeah, Yvonne's tattooed me before and did an amazing job on these guys back here. She fixed my whole Grim Reaper that was there, did this moon around it, fixed all the mausoleum and everything in the back. So I'm excited to see what we're going to do on my whole giant arm back here. And I'm scared. I'm honestly scared. So, what would you guys think? What would your guys' idea if you're like, okay, Josh is going to get a tattoo. What is he going to get? Or I know what he's going to get. He's going to get this, right? Tell me what you think. And then we'll tell you how wrong you are. Boom, boom, boom. Putting a little bit of darkness down in here. Oh, guys. Oh, it's fantastic. Just fantastic. There, right? This painting is going to weigh so much just based off of all this heavy texturous paint. My word. Woo! Okay. I almost forgot to do the highlight on the top up there. Tapping in a little ridge of darkness. Scrape it up, tap it in, scrape it up, tap it in. Remember, it's supposed to be dark back there. Let's get our yellow ochre. We're going to come down the front of this little guy. Right there. And he ends up being behind this other little tree. So he's kind of catching light up there at the top. That is fantastic. You can even take it from one tree and add it to a different tree. It's just going to help blend them. All you're doing is helping it blend. Boom, 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 boom. Guys, is that not wicked, Yvonne? Do we need something around the bottom? Like another bit of bush or something coming up down here? It kind of got faded. I guess it should have been darker down at the base. But, yeah, we need something down there. We need some sort of something. So let's take our plaque mix, right? Just because it should be a little darker down here. So what if, there, we just pop a little bit of something in there, right? Taking over some of our trees. There, right? Like literally, we don't even have to do it on this third one over here. You can at least have something kind of, remember, we're down here in the forest looking up. So you could have, this could be a small tree, it could be a bush, it could be whatever as you're looking up that way. And if we put that guy down there, then I would want to grab a little touch of my yellow oak. See if we can't. Oh, yes. Just a little touch-a-rooski. Vonnie, what do you think? Dude. I like that. I almost want it down here, too. Why not? Just a little. There. A little touch. Woo! Woo! That's fantastic. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title for this one. Sorry. Almost just burped on the hot mic right there. So, come up with a title. What do you think we should call this one? Remember, if you grab it during the live show, because it is available, you can title it. You get to name it. Whatever you think it should be called. All right? This one's $239. We have another one available, very similar, but in acrylics. That one's $159. And I'll show you what that guy looks like right here, too. Show you what the other one looked like. This was the practice. So, we're going to throw our birds up in the sky, too. But this was the practice from earlier today. Just the very first time that we ever messed around with, like, real acrylics, you know what I mean? Versus, like, the really cheap stuff. These are some decent acrylics that we got. So, I may be doing, would you guys want to see how to do this in acrylic? I could come back and do this in acrylic in the next tutorial, literally. Like, do you want to see an acrylic tutorial? The difference in oils, though. Ooh. Ooh. I like how this one's fatter. If it was just tweaked a little bit. God, look at that, though. Ugh. I am so pleased. Okay. So you guys come up with a title. If you get it, you get to title it, of course. If not, that's fine, too. Let's scrape in a couple little sticks and twigs down here. Just holding up some of these little guys. Oh, yeah. Fabulous. And all we're doing is just removing the paint that's on the canvas, just literally scraping it away with the tip of the palette tool. So we're going to get in here, throw in the old birds. You guys are going to come up with a title. Is there enough paint left on that pile? I think there's just barely enough. We got to make them small, man. Ooh, they got to be small. I guess I could do one here and two there, but here we go. Very small little birds. Just go caw-caw. They're there in the day. There. They're in there. They're just way up there, man. So, you guys come up with a title for this one. Maybe Vonnie can read me out some titles that are already coming in. And I'm going to sign it. Grove of Titans. I like that. What of the forest? Towers of the forest. I like that too. Oh, drones view. Copy. Glorious heaven. I like that. Magic of camping. The joy of camping. That's what we should call this one for sure. The birds did it for the perspective, right? They're way the heck up there in the sky. We're kind of up looking and they're flying over the top of these trees. You don't even have to paint the top of the trees. That's how, it's like we took this pic in like 0.5 mode, like my daughter loves, right? Every time I ever have to take a picture of my kid, Dad, put it in 0.5, 0.5. And I'm like, but you know that makes you like this small. 0.5, Dad. Okay, so it's the same. We're looking up at the trees in 0.5 mode to make them really long and stretched. God, that's so cool. My word, you guys. Jurassic Forest, that's a cool one. Flame in the Forest, The Last Stand. Like that. Standing Timbers, Tall Pines Forest, Lumberjack Heaven, that's cool. That's cool. Forest Stroll. That's what we should call it. Looking Up, that's a cool title, right? I like how, like, right, it's like, this is indistinct what's up there. Right? You can't really tell. You know that it's the tops and the bottoms of the next layer of forest up there, but that's what you don't pay too much attention to that stuff, right? Because the trunks are the focal point, not anything else in the painting. So I don't want to see too many little, you know, or too much green. We didn't put any green highlight up there. It's just dark, shadowy paint because it's supposed to be sort of silhouetted against the sky, right? Very cool. So let's see, Vonnie, which is your favorite title? Remember, if you guys get this one during the show, you get to title it forever. And I'll put it, like, we literally had a person name it Tim one time, which is really cool. Grove of Titans. So, top spot right now, Grove of Titans, right? Tall Pines Forest, I like that. Twilight Morning, dig it. Pines Sunset, Nature's Magic. Tall trees. Fire in the Sky. That's a good title over there. I loved that movie when I was a kid. And then as a grown-up, figured out just how awful that movie is. It's not even a good movie. They should redo it, actually. Literally. In the Backwoods. Like that. See Trunks to Heaven. Dig that one, too. Timber! Hey, Michael, how was your surgery? Michael was messaging me over the last couple days because we weren't able to go live on Facebook because the OBS kept crashing out. And so he was like, oh, I'm going in for surgery. Like, I need to be able to watch. I'm like, we're trying. So would you guys want to see? I was thinking maybe this on a black canvas might look cool and make it like, you know, all sap green in the background, like indistinct foresty bit, you know what I mean? Then put these big trunks in. That would be a neat painting. I was really hoping this one would sell and somebody would like it enough to want to get it and make us come back and do another show so I could do it again. That is so neat. I love it. Okay, let's get over here. I'm not sure which one I like more. The first acrylic practice one or this one. This one's got one extra tree in it. And the other one, it's got a little fatter tree on the side. But as far as them like looking like we're, you know what I mean, going towards that same. God, that's cool. Feel like crap, but still watching. Thank you, appreciate that. Let's see. Barking Up the Wrong Tree. That's a cool title too. That might have taken over as the new title, or the new top title, Barking Up the Wrong Tree. That's kind of funny. So remember, this little practice guy is also available, right underneath. I don't know if everybody can see. Look, oh, wow. Look at that. It almost lines up like they just continue to grow. Isn't that insane? It's kind of crazy. So both of these are available. Sign it still. It still remains unsigned. But 2301, and then this is 2302. That's just the number of paintings, not the price, just the number, right? I mean, shoot, if I could sell every painting for 23 with 2 zeros after it, I would be very, very, very happy. Yeah. Now, the acrylic one is a lot less. It's listed for $159. And then the live show painting, that's going to be $239, but you also get a free gift if you get it during the show. It's part of the incentive, man. So, beyond that, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see how your paintings come out. All right, and let's just take a look, see if anybody's in the middle of grabbing this one right now. Doesn't look like it, so I can't wait to see your guys' version of this painting. Please send it in to us or post it in any one of the any one of my posts on Facebook, you can try sending it in via Messenger. I get so many messages that I don't actually get to see a lot of them. It's like so daunting that I can't even look at the messages because there's just too many, right? So post it into any one of the comments sections or threads on my Facebook posts, and I'll be able to see your version a lot better. Post it in the art groups like the Bob Ross group or the Paint with Josh group, and I'll be able to see it that way. And I can't wait to see what you guys can do with this really cool painting. So until we see you guys again next time, take care. Wait, it says, what's your website again? Let's just do some critical thinking. What would you think it would be? If my name's Paint with Josh, wouldn't you think it would be Paint with Josh blank blank, right? Like dot blank, right? Don't you think it would be that? Paint with Josh, that's what it is. And you can also get to my Paint with Josh app that's available on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store as well. So beyond that, it'll be available. The price will drop a little bit as soon as we finish the live show. But if you get it after the live show, you don't get the free gift and the spinny winny wheel and the light party, which would have looked really cool on this one, having a light party. But I love how that background tree came out too. So, in any case, you guys have been fantastic. We love you. I can't wait to come back. We'll do it again next time. And until we see you guys then, take care. Rest of a good day. Well, that one came out amazing. I want to thank you guys for being here, liking, subscribing, tapping the screen, commenting, and interacting with me. It's all been fantastic. In the meantime, before we get to our next painting, be sure you check out paintwithjosh.com because there's always something else to look at over there. So until I see you guys again next time, take care.